You know, I think you're walking in the subway or walking along the street, and you see a New York Times published poet sells his poetry. Some people will go, really? I don't know. I'm certain you'll get your share of people, really? He's actually published in the Times? Is sitting here on the street corner in the subway? Really? Let me go and see what this is about. My name is Donald Green, and I'm a poet, and I live here in New York City. I'm in the Times. I wrote a millennium poem for the Times. I'm in the company of Barbra Streisand in that article. I grew up in Harlem, the Church of the Masters, right down the hill from Columbia University. My father was a chef. He wasn't a well-educated man, but he was a chef. And he made a living for his 6 children. I could roam away from my Harlem apartment down into along Central Park West and say, oh, one day I'll live on Park Avenue. I'll walk along Fifth Avenue and say, oh, one day I'll live here. I would feel at times different from the crowd. Even at times ugly, and I would sit down and write in that state, go up to stairs quietly and take out my notebook and write. That is how the beginning of the writing comes, how at times I would feel different from the children around me. Because my thinking and my dream always to be a famous person. Yes, because I could be ugly, but when I wrote, I was beautiful. The desire to distinguish myself, which I felt very young, to really distinguish myself in the world and be an important person in the world, and not to be an obscure person because I was born black, not to live an obscure life and be dismissed because I was born black, to make a mark as a person, to be known by many people, to be important as a person. That was always in my head as a child in Harlem. So I had about a private library once employees, went to the agency here in New York, in downtown and mid-Manhattan. When they sent me up, it was Columbia University, and they hired me. And I began working in gifts and exchanges in Butler Library. I actually spent all my 20s at Columbia University. And a little bit of study. I studied for poetry for a while with a poet by the name of David Shapiro. My attitude about Columbia is that I stayed because I didn't want to be hungry. I mean, I needed an income. I was a young writer with a dream. I left because I wanted to really, really pursue writing and be a writer and get known in the world as a writer. I've taken money for granted in life. I have to clean that up. I'm not alone with singers, dancers, all 1,000 people in New York City with their dreams, particularly creatively. I don't think I'm a bum. I mean, I got my style. I mean, I sell outdoors. You know, I have a place to live. The New York Times didn't think that. Unless they wouldn't have put me in the company of Barbra Streisand. I'm a poet, so you get ideas and you write. Today I wrote, 2 things? Yesterday about 3 things. You get ideas and you take out your pad and you write. It's like it's as close to you as eating food. Now I'm going to do a short poem called Moment. To sit on the beach and measure you is to move in music and candlelight.